machine, it could only work upon those within a certain distance. They discovered that in the days of the first landing, when hunters went out freely and many of them did not return. After that, when hunters were sent out to learn how lay this land, they went along in the flyer with a machine so that there would be no more escapes. But we knew. Kaydessa's fingers curled into small fists. Yes, we knew that if we could get beyond the machines, there was freedom for us. And we planned, many of us planned. Then 9 or 10 sleeps ago, those others were very excited. They gathered in their ship, watching their machines, and something happened. For a while, all those machines went dead. Jagatai, Kushar, my brother Hulagur, Menlik, she was counting the names off on her fingers. They raided the horse herd, rode out. And you? I too should have ridden. But there was Aljar, my sister, Kuchar's wife. She was very near her time, and to ride thus, fleeing and fast, might kill her and the child. So I did not go. Her son was born that night, but the others had the machine at work once more. We might long to go here, she brought her fist up to her breast, and then raised it to her head, but there was that here which kept us to the camp and their will. We only knew that if we could reach the mountains, we might find our people who had already gained their freedom. But you are here. How did you escape? Tashi wanted to know. They knew that I would have gone had it not been for Aljar. So they said they would make her ride out with them unless I played guide to lead them to my brother and the others. Then I knew I must take up the sword of duty and hunt with them. But I prayed that the spirits of the upper air look with favor upon me, and they granted aid. Her eyes held a look of wonder. For when we were out on the plains and well away from the settlement, a grass devil attacked the leader of the searching party, and he dropped the mind control, and so it was broken. Then I rode. Blue sky above knows how I rode. And those others are not with their horses, as are the people of the wolf. When did this happen? 3 suns ago. Travis counted back in his mind. Her date for the failure of the machine in the Russian camp seemed to coincide with the crash landing of the American ship. Had one thing any connection with the other? It was very possible. The planeting spacer might have fought some kind of weird duel with the other colony before it plunged to Earth on the other side of the mountain range. Do you know where in these mountains your people hide? Kaydessa shook her head. Only that I must head south, and when I reach the highest peak, make a signal fire on the north slope. But that I cannot do now, for those in the flyer may see it. I know they are on my trail, for twice I have seen it. Listen, Fox, I ask this of you. I, Kaydessa, who am eldest daughter to the Khan, for you are like unto us, a warrior and a brave man, that I believe. It may be that you cannot be governed by their machine, for you have not rested under their spell, nor are of our blood. Therefore, if they come close enough to send forth the call I must obey, as if I were a slave dragged upon a horse rope. Then do you bind my hands and feet and hold me here, no matter how much I struggle to follow that command. For that which is truly me does not want to go. Will you swear this by the fires which expel demons? The utter sincerity of her tone convinced Travis that she was pleading for aid against a danger she firmly believed in. Whether she was right about his immunity to the Russian metal control was another matter, and one he would rather not put to the test. We do not swear by your fires, Blue Wolf Maiden, but by the path of the lightning. His fingers moved so as to curl about the sacred charred wood his people had once carried as medicine. So do I promise. She looked at him for a long moment and then nodded in satisfaction. They left the pool and pushed on toward the mountain slopes, working their way back to the pass. A low growl out of the dark brought them to an instant halt. Naginta's warning was sharp. There was danger ahead, acute danger. The moonlight from the moons made a weird pattern of light and dark on the stretch ahead. Anything from a slinking four-footed hunter to a war party of intelligent beings might have been lying in wait there. A flitting shadow out of shadows. Nalik'ideyu pressed against Travis's legs, making a barrier of her warm body, attracting his attention to a spot at the left, perhaps 100 yards on. There was a great splotch of dark there, large enough to hide a really formidable opponent. That wordless communication between animal and man told Travis that such an opponent was just what was lurking there. Whatever lay in ambush beside the upper track was growing impatient as its destined prey ceased to advance. The coyotes reported. "Your left, beyond that pointed rock, in the big shadow. Do you see it?" Tasnea demanded. "No, but the Embia do." The men had their bows ready, arrows set to the cords. But in this light such weapons were practically useless unless the enemy moved into the path of the moon. "What is it?" Kaydessa asked in a half whisper. "Something waits for us ahead?" Before he could stop her, she set her fingers to her lips and gave a piercing whistle. There was answering movement in the shadow. Travis shot at that, his arrow followed instantly by one from Tsoay. There was a cry, scaling up in a throat-scalding scream which made Travis flinch, not because of the sound, but because of the hint which lay behind it. Could it have been a human cry? The thing flopped out into a patch of moonlight. It was four-limbed, its body silvery, and it was large. But the worst was that it had been groveling on all fours when it fell, and now it was rising on its hind feet, one forepaw striking madly at the two arrows dancing head deep in its upper shoulder. Man? No, but something sufficiently manlike to chill the three down trail. A whirring four-footed hunter dashed in, snapped at the creature's legs, and it squalled again, aiming a blow with a forepaw. But the attacking coyote was already gone. Together, Naginta and Nalik'ideyu were harassing the creature, just as they had fought the split horn, giving the hunters time to shoot. Travis, although he again felt that touch of horror and disgust he could not account for, shot again. Between them, the Apaches must have sent a dozen arrows into the raving beast before it went to its knees, and Naginta sprang for its throat. Even then the coyote yelped and flinched, a bleeding gash across its head from the raking talons of the dying thing. When it no longer moved, Travis approached to see more closely what they had brought down. That smell! Just as the embroidery on Kaydessa's jacket had awakened memories from his Terran past, so did this stench remind him of something. Where? When? Had he smelled it before? Travis connected it with dark, and danger. Then he gasped in a half explanation. Not on this world, no, but on two others. Two worlds of that broken stellar empire where he had been an involuntary explorer 2 planet years ago. The beast things which had lived in the dark of the desert world the Terran's wandering galactic derelict had landed upon. Yes, the beast things whose nature they had never been able to deduce. Were they the degenerate dregs of a once intelligent species? Or were they animals akin to man, but still animals? The ape things had controlled the night of the desert world. And they had been met again, also in the dark, in the ruins of the city which had been the final goal of the ship's taped voyage. So they were a part of the vanished civilization. And Travis's own vague surmise concerning Topaz was proven correct. This had not been an empty world for the long-gone space people. This planet had a purpose and a use, or else this beast would not have been here. "Devil!" Kaydessa made a face of disgust. "You know it?" Tsoay asked Travis. "What is it?" "That I do not know. but it is a thing left over